when we talk about these insurance fees and how they set their fees, and they're setting the fees on the least expensive professionally accepted treatment, I wonder what would happen if the public actually understood that. And when we talk to all the supply reps, they tell us that offices that haven't been through our training, they're racing to the bottom. They're trying to get the least expensive products, materials, everything that they can to try and save 0.5% to 2%. And that doesn't cut it. That you're not going to save your way into profitability. We all know that. And I always wonder what would happen if the public understood that. And Tracy's actually written a book.
I have a book
that actually kind of describes that. And
it's really fun.
We've been selling it, and we give it to all of our trained clients to just set out in your reception area. And we've actually had patients read it.
Yeah,
and they're like, whoa, no wonder you guys offer us choice. So what can we do as individuals to combat the misinformation? And I know that,
How do we do that?
How do you?
Well, so I was talking to the Strawman rep, and I was like, we want to start offering like choices for implants. So we're probably going to talk to you about this. And he's like, oh, yeah, I have a lot of oral surgeons that do that. I'm like, why aren't the oral surgeons telling us about this?
Because they don't want you to know.
Because they don't want us placing implants.
That's
right?
exactly right.
And they don't want you placing the implant that has less than 1/10% failure rate, because then they can't look better than us. I mean, I'm just joking. Sorry, oral surgeons, but no, it is true, So it's, these are the things that we have to ask ourselves, but what else can we do? We can certainly tell our associations, hey, it's time to
Open up a discussion.
Clean up your what?
Open up a discussion.
Oh,
No, not
Do-
doing anything. Open
Do
up.
what or get off the pot? What did you say? Can't remember what I heard in that ear. But, you're right. It needs to be open discussion.
I feel like dentists are afraid to talk to each other.
I think that's big too. We've been
Yeah.
talking about
I think
peers
we
and
need to
everyone.
realize it's
trying
okay.
to get everyone in the area to do it
Everyone
because
lives in the same. They're in the same boat.
everyone's got the same story. They're on the
Yeah.
brink of.
We're not in competition. We're all like helping each other.
Yes.
And I think if we can talk, it would go a long way.
Well, and everybody thinks that patients are limited, and you really look at Utah is very saturated with dentists, but yet we're still okay. We can still see plenty of patients, and we can still be profitable. And so if we take that out of the equation, we realize that we're okay. The second question, I think, is people worry a little bit about collusion, but that's the thing. You don't talk prices. We're talking about procedures and
profitability,
and legislation and all the things that we just need to be educated on in order to run our business. And so the more we can talk to each other, the better it is, hence community, which
So
is huge.
I want to come back to the one more thing that the insurance company stated, and that is that they're like, the problem that dentists have is they are not business educated. And that's why here, my practice, my business, that's why we named the company that. And we have practices, but we also have businesses.
Yeah.
And we need to look at it like that. The insurance companies are right. I think it's more us than it is them. And I've always said that. If we are business trained, we understand the contracts, we understand the state laws and how to apply them, just like all of you around this table, you're profitable, but your peers who have not been through training are not. And it's just that simple. And we hope someday to help them out like we have been able to help out all of you.